From Marmo Studio, here's Jim Bratton.
Hi, this is Jim Bratton, and today we're talking to Brandy Messinger. And she's talking today on behalf of the Galveston Fishing Pier, right?
Yes, correct.
Well, tell me a little bit about the history of the Galveston Fishing Pier. Then lead me into what's going on right now in terms of some of the stuff going on.
Okay, great. So the Galveston Fishing Pier was established in 1971 originally.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been there for quite a while.
I know it's a landmark.
It's had a few different owners.
Right.
Jimmy has owned the pier since 2009, I believe.
It was an interesting time to buy
It was
a pier that sticks out into the Gulf of Mexico.
It was actually right before a very large hurricane
Right.
that completely destroyed the pier.
Right.
Thankfully, he did rebuild it because honestly, there's a vast number of people from all different walks of life, from all different ages who have come there with their ancestors, brought their children and repeat. You know, they've been coming for years and years and years. Some people come there specifically in certain times of year to get their target fish to fill their freezers up, you know.
I mean, it's quite an institution.
It is.
And a practical thing as well, evidently. You say they're going to jam up their freezers with whatever they catch. And they have a specific kind of fish in mind?
They do. A lot of them time their visits for when specific types of fish are going to be running. Most often they're targeting like redfish, speckled trout, Spanish mackerel. Those are the tastiest, according to a lot of folks.
Now, so you've been there for a long time.
I have.
And the pier has been there forever.
Mm-hmm.
However, it sounds like things are fairly dynamic. Like you've got some things happening now that may have not happened before, but are related to that, built upon that history. So lead me into that.
Okay, so the program that I really am wanting to highlight today is called Teach a Kid to Fish.
Right.
It was originally established in 2016, and we kind of just decided that there were too many children in Galveston who were unaware of the access they have to self-sustaining fishing. You know, like they can go catch their own food, have a skill set that's going to kind of carry them for a real long time, be passed on, hopefully, you know, but a surprising number of children in Galveston don't know anything about fishing. They don't know about the fishing piers. They don't spend a lot of time considering it even. Also, in tandem with that, they don't consider the impact that we're having on the waters here. So Teach Kids to Fish.
Wow. This is like a huge community garden that nobody knows about.
It is. We have mostly been working with Oppie Elementary. They have been coming to our program since I think came in the first year, 2016, 2017. Mm-hmm. And they love it. The kids love it. They've written many letters talking about what they learned and how much they enjoyed it. In those years, we've gone from having, you know, a little bit of parent participation to the last class we had probably half the class, their parents came. And they're fishing too. And they don't know about fishing. They're learning about fishing with the kids. They're getting their hands on bait. They're baiting hooks and casting lines. They're catching real fish, you know. They are ecstatic when they're out there. The parents and the children, honestly, because again, a surprising number of people are unaware of fishing. They just have no concept of it.
I'm quiet because I'm just sort of stunned by this whole concept and how simple it is. And how overlooked. Walk me through the process. You picked one school as a target school, evidently. How do you go about reaching the people then?
So actually, this year we have started trying to branch out and getting into some other schools.
Right.
Kelly McClure, who is the owner of the pier,
Right.
has been going personally and trying to gather some information for folks that we can talk to get more kids in the program. Oppie, they came early in the program when we were still developing it. They really have given us a lot of feedback and guidance to make it better and more cohesive with what they're trying to do already. You know, we don't want to interrupt the flow of their classrooms, and field trips sometimes can, but because of the type of field trip that it is, it's easily incorporated into their lesson plans. And so sometimes they'll take the whole week to talk about the ecosystems, fishing in general, how we can conserve. You know, we also have TURN, which is the Turtle Island Restoration Network that partners with us. They come out, they talk about marine composition breakdown
Right. Understood
yes,
about
yes.
the risks
Yeah.
and the benefit.
And how we can make it better. It's a very cool program. And honestly, the reason that I wanted to talk about it today, I was real nervous to do the thing.
That's okay.
But this program is important. And I think all of the Galveston kids should be going. We're too close to the water for them to not know.
It is too much of an asset and overlooked. We think about it for tourism for other people. A lot of times we forget that it's here for us. And it goes beyond tourism.
It does.
Well, there's a cost involved in this. How is that handled?
So currently at OPI, the PTO and the parents split the cost.
Right.
So the parents pay for half the field trip and the PTO pays for the other half. If there's any kids that can't come,
Understood.
do it, we just cover it for them because we want them to be able to come. Obviously, we are a business and we can't do it for free for everybody, but we want them to come. Yeah. And so we are interested in kind of talking with Marmo Innovations about maybe turning Teach a Kid to Fish into something that's a nonprofit where we could start accepting donations and offer this program for free for some kids that really can't afford it.
Could be part of the whole philanthropic
It could.
organization.
Yeah,
then.
that's kind of what we were thinking.
The gear, the fishing gear. How do you handle that since these are novices and maybe don't know, have never held a fishing pole? I don't know even what to call them, or a rod and reel.
Yeah.
What do you give them?
That's a great question. And they're little, so, the bigger reels can be a little...
Intimidating, I'm
They
guessing,
can, yeah.
or overwhelming.
We really just get them the simplest reel, which is a push-button spinning reel.
Right.
You hold the button down, you throw it out, it goes.
I remember that.
Easy peasy. And another thing that we have done with OPI is we have started visiting the second graders. So we bring the third and fourth graders to the pier. They get to fish.
Okay.
We'll go visit the second graders with push button reels without hooks or metal or anything. We put a weight at the end that's a little plastic fish,
Yes.
and we take them out and we teach them how to do that because we learned in the beginning years of Teach a Kid to Fish that they get quite excited the first time they get the rods in their hand, and that hook can sometimes...
Hooks fly everywhere.
But once we started going to second grade first and give them the chance to wave the rod in the air in their field, they don't do it on the pier. Mostly.
What kind of results have you had? What kind of feedback do you have from them?
The teachers love it. The teachers really, really love it. They enjoy getting to take the kids out to learn in that kind of environment. We've not had a kid not enjoy it. They talk about it through the year, I think, because by the time we get into the school, they're like, yes, it's time.
What a great thing.
It's very cute. It's very cute. It's very fulfilling. On my part, I was a preschool teacher for 7 years before I came to work at the Galveston Fishing Pier. Yeah. So working with kids is a passion of mine. I love kids. I love seeing them learn.
Right.
This kind of got my two worlds put together.
It's excellent. Yeah.
It feels good.
Brandy, tell me a little bit about, just for those of us that were not going to be participating in this Teach a Kid to Fish program, the rest of us might want to come to the pier. Just give us about a minute or two about the pier itself and what it's like to utilize it, where it is, and all of that kind of stuff.
Okay. We are located at 9001 Seawall Boulevard, which is right across the street from the movies.
Right.
Surprisingly, a lot of folks actually have driven past us and seem to not know, that the pier is there.
Right.
There's Jimmy's on the Pier, which is our restaurant located directly upstairs. Great views, beautiful bar. Most people have a really, it's nice. It's nice to sit. You don't even have to eat. Like if you just go have some drinks up there, you can bring your friends. The food is really good. I wouldn't go and not eat because, the food's good. But the views, everybody talks about the views. And so if you want to fish on the fishing pier, there is a charge. It is a private fishing pier. It's $15 for the day.
Okay.
And you can come and go as you please. During the spring and summer and early fall, we are open 24 hours. Wow. In the wintertime, we do close at night because it's too cold for anybody nobody wants to go fishing then. But once spring comes, the sun starts coming out, the water temperature starts rising. We go 24 hours as soon as we can because, people like to fish at night.
You let the parameters decide that for you. Then.
We do. It's hard to predict what the fish are going to do. And we have also noticed, and especially I've been there for 15 years. So in that time, the seasons of the fish and when they come has been changing. Well, like used to be, You would start seeing redfish come in early September. It's getting later in the year now when the redfish are coming in. Same with speckled trout. They're not coming at the same time that they used to.
Let me get one more statistic that I've always wondered about. How far into the water does the pier go?
1,100 feet.
Wow.
And that's not including the T-head. That's from the seawall to the end.
That's a long ways.
It is.
What's the water depth out there? Do you know what the water
It
depth?
varies, and it has changed. I wouldn't want to give an answer because I wouldn't even know right now. But, they dredge for the beaches. They pull the sand up. That changes everything about what's going on out at the pier.
Right.
When I first started working there were certain places where there were what they called guts, which is where the water is a little deeper.
Right.
Okay. And so those are no longer where they used to be.
Yeah.
And so people have had to learn where they are now and change kind of where they prefer to fish.
Right.
It's one of the ways that people determine where they're going to fish.
Sure.
The wind, speed, and direction, the color of the water, the consistency of the water. There's so many variables.
I'll bet you have folks out there that know every one of those too.
Oh, yes.
And live by them.
For sure.
Tell me how somebody can get a hold of the Galveston Fishing Pier.
The best way to get a hold of us is going to be at our website, galvestonfishingpier.com.
It's easy.
Or follow us on Facebook.
Right.
The Facebook is really the place to go if you want the most updated pictures and fishing reports.
The program is Teach a Kid to Fish.
It is.
It's courtesy of the Galveston Fishing Pier. And this has been Brandy Messinger, who has told us all about it. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Jim. I really appreciate it.
From Marmo Studio, you've been listening to Jim Bratton. This is Sierra Sakel.